Tottenham Hotspur have ended Marine AFC's fairy tale run in the FA Cup at the third round. The result was 5-0 in the end. It was 4-0 at half time. But the longer the game went on without the goal, and the fact that Marine actually hit the bar on a cheeky counter attack, there is going to be some nerves there. And Joe Hart, he got his angles all wrong. Now I was surprised Joe Hart is actually still playing, and he's playing for Tottenham. I didn't notice that transfer. Joe Hart's career has taken a bit of a nosedive. The fact that he's the second or third choice at Tottenham, that's a fall from grace from when he was number one at Man City and number one for England. His career has tailed off over the last 4 or so seasons. He wasn't overly troubled in this game, but Marine hitting the bar, I think, woke him up a little bit. I think it woke Tottenham up a little bit, because very shortly after that, they scored their first goal with Carlos Vinicius. The build-up play from Dele Alli is brilliant. He could have had multiple chances to shoot himself, but he brings other players into play. Vinicius is on loan from Benfica, gets his first goal. Follows that up with a very similar goal 6 minutes later on 29 minutes. So 2 tap-ins. And Tottenham are on the board. The floodgates, you think, have opened. They have, because there'll be 3 more goals to come. And yeah, I think that's where the Marine players looked a little bit stunned by it all. They'd survived 23 minutes and then suddenly the gates have opened. Lucas Moura's free kick, technically brilliant. And Lucas Moura is one of those players who's had the odd injury here or there, but he's a pretty solid player. But from set plays, he is dangerous, and that free kick was absolutely brilliant. The technique on it, get it over the wall and under the bar and past the goalkeeper. There was a fair bit of pace on it as well, which I think's helped beat the goalkeeper. I think if it was just a bending free kick with a bit of dip, with a bit less pace, the goalkeeper possibly gets there. Because the goalkeeper wasn't a million miles away, but I think that extra bit of pace has taken it past the goalkeeper. And that was a short spate of scoring in a 9-minute period, 3 goals in 9 minutes. We had to wait another 5 minutes for Carlos Vinicius' hat-trick, which is a brilliant lob. It's a bit scrappy in the box, they're fighting for the ball. The ball pings to his feet, he's got to sort his feet out. And in a very short space of time, surrounded by players, he manages to get off a lob from 12 yards under the bar and over the keeper in a very, very congested penalty area. That is a difficult skill, to sort your feet out with players around you and just chip it like that. It's a very difficult skill to pull off. He's on loan this season, and I think this is going to be interesting for Mourinho, because we know Harry Kane is a bit injury prone at times. Son, he's had a few injuries as well. To have that backup up front, I think, is something that Tottenham have lacked in previous seasons. And he's on loan for the season with an option to buy him at a reduced fee, I think 30 to 40 million at the end of the season from Benfica. I can see him getting more game time, possibly in the FA Cup. But also he's played games in the Europa League, but also some league games as well. So if Harry Kane's got a niggle or needs some resting, or Son has a niggle, or even Lucas Moura, because I think he can play slightly deeper, he's not up to speed on anything, put him in. He had a very, very positive 90 minutes. He could have had 4 or 5. He had a couple other chances as well. He looks a pretty tidy player. And sometimes with these overseas players, when they're playing in the FA Cup, they don't seem motivated, because it's not the big league, it's not the big opposition. He seemed very motivated in this game, and I think he could be a very, very tidy pickup this season. So watch him to have more game time. That's a player I think Tottenham fans, and I think football fans in general, should be looking at a bit closer. And with a name, his name, Carlos Vinicius, that sounds like a Roman general, doesn't it? So it's 4-0 at half time. The changes happen in the second half. Dele Alli, I think, was taken off around 65 minutes. Good to see Dele Alli actually get through 65 minutes, no injuries, no yellow cards for Dele Alli either, and he actually had a pretty tidy, creative game. Marine are going to be physical, that he kept his temper, he didn't react to any of the challenges, because Marine put some physical tackles in there, and Dele Alli's temperament, I think he had control of it today, which is, I think, positive, because I think having Dele Alli on the field rather than off it is a bonus for Tottenham, obviously. And he has his detractors, and he has, had some divided opinion in the past with some of his antics, and his temperament is one of the problems. And sometimes when his temperament goes, his passing goes. His build-up play and his link play with Vinicius and Moura and others in the midfield was pretty good today. So Dele Alli had a good game. Alfie Devine comes on, 16-year-old, for his debut, and his first shot on goal, he scores. Low to the goalkeeper's right, drills it. Could the keeper have done a bit better? It's possibly. And that is a great way to cap off the scoring. But that was at 60 minutes. The game sort of drifted for the last 30 minutes. I mean, Vinicius had a couple other opportunities. Gareth Bale comes on, had a free kick that was well saved. So there could have been more goals there. It could have been 5, 6, 7, 8. But Marine stuck in there. They had a few chances themselves, the odd little flash going up the field. But Tottenham were comfortable in the second half. Mourinho can now afford to bring players like Alfie Devine on for his first taste of first team football. I think he might get a few more run-outs in the FA Cup this season, and he may actually get some games in the Premier League and in Europe. It's not without the realms of possibility. He could get some game time if there's injuries and illness in the camp, in the squad, and players need resting because of the lack of winter break and the congested season that we have. So, Alfie Devine, I can see why Tottenham fans are raving about him. In a reserve game, apparently him and Danny Drinkwater had a bit of a coming together, and both players got sent off because apparently Alfie Devine in the reserves decided to go too fitted on Drinkwater, and Drinkwater reacted, and both players saw red. So we know he's got a bit of passion about him as well. So all in all, I think Tottenham can be pretty happy with the performance. They didn't concede a goal. They didn't go behind early, which they could have done when Marine hit the bar earlier on and Joe Hart looked a bit out of sorts. They kept a clean sheet, and they've got a hat-trick in there, and that now gives Mourinho a few selection headaches, because I think that's a positive to have for a coach. I think it's a positive to always have that, this guy is now challenging the established centre-forward or the established midfielder for that position. You want those fringe players to actually put some effort in. They did today. All in all, a pretty solid Tottenham performance. I think they obviously watched the Leeds game and realised we don't want to get embarrassed by a team how many divisions below us? Okay. Long story short, positive performance. It'll be interesting to see how they get in the next round. And yeah, no injuries of note that I can think of that are serious. And a clean sheet's always good. So there we go. Tottenham have won 5-0. Marine are a great credit to the non-league. A full squad of part-timers who also have full part-time jobs or full-time jobs and college courses and university courses to go to. They conducted themselves really, really well. And bear in mind, this may be their last game. So I think they've gone out on a high playing Premiership high flyers Tottenham. There we go. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts below, and I will have some more videos for you very, very soon.